the only locally produced farm radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester. And Matthew, you had a nice weekend?
Yes, I did. What about you?
Oh, yeah, you bet. Got a lot of work done outside, kind of trying to plan ahead just a little bit, because it looks like winter season is going to be moving in here pretty much full force as we work our way through the week and into next weekend. And then after that, we're going to be looking at temperatures a whole lot closer to normal, if not a little bit below normal. And the precipitation values will average above average. So we're talking all the way through the 21st. My guess is we're going to have snow on the ground by the time Snowfest rolls along. And that's going to be, I think it's like the 24th, 25th, right in there of January. So very possibly much snowier and much cooler time period for us here for not only the next 3 weeks, but I think a good part of the month of February is going to be on the chilly side as well. Right now, though, quite mild. We started the morning off in the mid-30s. What are we looking at right now?
Well, over at the airport, it's cloudy at 35. Over in Midland, it's also cloudy at 35. Here at Radio Center, it's cloudy at 34. We have southwest winds at 8 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.36, and it's rising.
And it looks like maybe another degree, and that's going to be it as far as our afternoon high temperature goes. What's average for this time of the year is 30. So we're running about 5 degrees above normal, and it does look like as we work our way through the remainder of the week overall, we are going to be running about 4, 5, 6 degrees above normal. Now, as we get a little bit closer to the weekend, we alluded to it, Friday will still be above normal, but then on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the, upper 20s on Saturday for a high and low 20s for a high on Sunday. And we are going to be watching another storm system. There are 3 of them. We experienced one in the continental United States over the weekend. We didn't get it here, but folks to the south of us got it, and also folks to the east picked up quite a bit of snow. And if they didn't get a lot of snow, well, New England, example, we had a number of reporting stations there looking at 10 plus inches of snow. Then you go down into the southeastern part of the continental United States. We had a number of cities there that reported water, more than 2 inches of rain, and some severe weather along the Gulf Coast. That is going to happen again over the next 48 hours. This system that will be moving into the central part of the continental United States is situated right now over the Oklahoma Panhandle, and eventually it is going to work its way into Missouri and then into northern Illinois. And I think it's going to track in Michigan just north of Muskegon in an northeasterly direction, which means that the center of that low is going to be tracking along the US 10 corridor and then moving out in the northeastern part of Michigan here over the next 48 hours. What does that mean? It means we're on the south side of the system. We're on the warm side of the system for the Great Lakes Bay Area. So overall, the majority of the moisture is going to be liquid for us, at least through Tuesday. We're going to start off the morning with the possibility of some snowy roads right away in the morning, but it'll all be turning into rain as we work our way through the day into the evening hours. And then early on Wednesday morning, it is going to transition back into more snow. Now, the amount of snow on Wednesday will not be as great, especially in northern Michigan, as what it'll be on Tuesday. But to make things more interesting is we're going to get snow showers on Wednesday, but then it's going to be wind driven by wind gusts out of the west, gusting up to right around 40, if not more, miles per hour. We are not going to see the strongest gusty winds out of this system, as they will all the way down into the southeastern part of the continental United States. Along the Georgia, Carolinas, and the Virginia state lines, they're going to be looking at wind gusts close to 60 miles per hour in the forecast. And some of them are going to be ranging higher than that. Tornadoes, yes, they are talking that as a result of this system along the Gulf Coast, running all the way from New Orleans through Biloxi, Mississippi, Mobile, Alabama, into central and southern portions of Georgia over the next 48 hours. So this is a really big system. It's the low pressure is going to be quite low. And as a result, we're going to get a lot of counterclockwise wind that will show, first of all, a push of that moisture up into Michigan in the form of snow right off the bat tomorrow morning. Rain going through the day into the evening hours. And then as that low moves away from us rather rapidly, heading into the area in Ontario province east of Lake Superior, it's going to pack in a west wind, and that's where we will really see the strong gusty winds. Because technically, a hurricane is a low-pressure system. And obviously, you all hear about the eye of the hurricane. Well, that's the center of the low. As we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to have a southeasterly wind that will gust up to 30 miles per hour as we go through the day. And then southwesterly, 25 miles per hour, so a little bit less tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, it'll become westerly, gusting to 35 and 40 miles per hour. So you realize the not only the magnitude of the system, but the pathway of the system. And again, as I said, we are on the south side of it. So our high today, 36, high tomorrow, 38. Our high on Wednesday will be 35 early in the morning, dropping down to 28 for a low on Wednesday night. Long range to take us all the way through the 21st, as we indicated, above average on the precipitation, below average on the moisture. Record high in the state is 57. It was set back in 1937. The record low, 7 below zero, set in 1942 and tied in 1968. The coldest ever, January the 8th, 1968. Our low was 7 below zero. Our high was 9. And the warmest ever, January the 8th, 2008, 56 was our high, 50 was our low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to that, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michigan Corn Growers, the 10th anniversary of the Great Lakes Crop Summit. We've been telling you all about it. Again, that Crop Summit is going to be the last full week of the month of January. Registration for discounted early bird registration ends today. So if you haven't already registered for it, might be a very good idea to get a hold of the folks and make your reservations. You can call Soaring Eagle, and there's a group code that you'll want to get. So for more information on all of that, you might want to go to micorn.org. Fantastic lineup of speakers and events planned this year. You definitely don't want to miss it. The 10th anniversary of the Great Lakes Crop Summit at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Early registration, discounted registration ends today. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Terry. I'm doing well, thank you.
I was taking a look at the markets before we went on the air, and you and I are definitely a lot better than what the markets are right now.
Definitely true. Friday's export sales showed both corn and soybeans, failed to reach the very low end of what we expected. And of course, beneficial rains fell again over central and northeastern Brazil during the weekend, and also covered some areas in central and southern Argentina. So, that along with the Saudis kind of planning to lower some pricing on the crude oil, and then again, those beneficial rains and fund liquidation in the soybean meal. We could go on and on and on with bearish news this morning to start the week with, Terry. It's not good. So.
No, and from what I understand, now we're going to get a rather steady progression of systems here in the continental United States. And for areas in the U.S. that have been exceptionally dry, they're getting some moisture. Now, whether it's going to be enough, that's
Right.
beside the point. Right now, there's the prospect of increased moisture, and that has to be putting a little pressure on the markets too.
Yeah, definitely. And that's more or less on the wheat market too. That's down hard. And, this major winter storm, Terry, that's moving across the central and southern plains will give you moisture, and wheat's kind of taking a hit on that news as well, for sure. So
I was just taking a look at the snowfalls per day, and the record here for today is like just under 5 inches, and that was way back in 1912. So then I took a look at the 9th and the 10th of January, which is tomorrow and Wednesday. And in 1997, the 2 days together, we had 17 inches of snow.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely comes in waves sometime, doesn't it?
It sure does. So what do we got on the board right now, Gary?
Well, Terry, right now, let's call cash wheat down 18 at 558 on the white, 473 on the red. New crop down 17 at 613 on the white, 533 on the red. Cash corn down 8 at 368. New crop also down 8 at 421. Cash soybeans down 17 at 1149, and new crop is down 14, Terry, at 1115.
You have a great day, Gary.
I will. You do the same. Thank you, Terry.
Will do. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer standing by. The market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture way back since 1895. And now they've got 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Schaefer and Beerline, they've got those heavy-duty pickups, the 2023s and the 2024s. So if you want to get a pretty good deal and you're in the market for a new Ram 1500, a Ram heavy-duty pickup, a ProMaster van, or a Ram commercial truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, now's the time to see them. Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Now, remember, we were talking about greasing up the skids on that snow machine.
I'm ready.
Well, if you don't need it in your backyard tomorrow or Wednesday, I know for sure you're going to get some on Friday night and Saturday and probably Sunday.
My sled's in Houghton Lake, so I think I'm going to get it.
Oh, you're going to get it tomorrow. Yeah, the only issue is getting up there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. not as young as I used to be, but I might make it. Give it a try.
I think you will. What's going on?
Well, speaking of getting it, crude oil down about $3.50 today. That's probably driving the commodity markets in general. It's not the dollar doing it though. The dollar's down a little bit, so not stronger. Anyway, a couple things though. Boeing is down about $10 billion today. You know, the incident there with Alaska Air. Hard to say if it was sabotage or if there was somebody on that plane that needed eliminating or what, but whatever. They jump to conclusions immediately, think it's Boeing's problem, so who knows. But to offset that, NVIDIA is up $50 billion today, so the AI thing is still a major thing. And the Magnificent Seven up $140 billion today, so you know, these are some big numbers, a lot of money trading hands. So I don't know. It seems overwhelming at most of the time. The Nasdaq is still up today. The S&P is up. The Dow is the only one down, and that's because it has exposure to Boeing, or at least more exposure to Boeing. So here's your numbers. March corn 453 down 7 3/4. July corn 475 3/4 down 8. The March soybeans 1241 3/4 down 14 1/2. July soybeans 1257 1/2 down 12 1/4. March wheat not 599 1/4 down 16 3/4, and July wheat 619 1/2 down 15 1/2. Crude oil is 70.48. That's down $3.33. It has the energy sector down at about a 3 or 4 week low, so that's taken some pressure. Heating oil is at 255 1/2. That's down 5 1/2 cents. Gasoline is 203.14, down 7 1/2 cents. Should put us in the 260s. And natural gas is 251 1/2, down 10 1/2 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3370 Canadian. That's up 8 ticks. The dollar buys 143.84 yen. That's down 81 ticks. The euro's at 109.73, up 32 ticks. The dollar's at 102.12, down 29 ticks. Gold is at 20.38.10, down $11.70. Silver's 23.35, up 3.5 cents. And platinum's at 9.45, down $14.30.
You have a good one, Doug.
Thank you. You too.
You bet. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain, your Dairyland Seed headquarters. Check them out. Get some pricing and get a few things taken care of right now, because really, Freeland Bean and Grain, that's what it's all about, getting all the ducks in a row for 2024. Vic Huffer, certified crop advisor. He's ready to answer any questions you might have. Remember, they've been serving you since 1983. Freeland Bean and Grain, serving you is their business. Matthew, who do we have?
Up next, we have Eric Sawatsky from Yo and Yo and Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center.
All righty. Let's check base right now with Jerry Samolsky. Jerry, good morning. How are you?
Hey, great, Terry.
I'm getting ready to put some salt down.
I was going to say this weather pattern says we might be needing some salt. So again, I just want to keep reminding, do it judiciously. There are people I just met with last week, particularly commercial projects where their guy is over salting, and we're having trouble getting plants that are normally very durable to grow because the salt is just so rough on plants. So please salt judiciously and make sure that we're not over applying.
But very good, Jerry. Thank you so much. You take care and get ready. It looks like winter is moving in.
Finally, I'm happy for that. Let's have it, and spring will be all that much sooner.
That's right. That's the way it works. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Legendary Tree Care. Yeah, you need tree trimming. Well, after we get the strong gusty winds on Wednesday, you're going to get a lot better idea of if you should be trimming a tree or not. Well, the folks at Legendary Tree Care can take care of it for you. No job is too big. No job is too small. Remember, they're fully licensed and insured, and they specialize in those big projects. LegendaryTreeCare.com or like them on Facebook. We say good morning to Eric Sawatsky at Yo and Yo Accounting. And Eric, there's some rules, tax rules that we should be aware of they're not going to go away, are they?
Yeah, Terry, there's a few items I wanted to cover today that we were hoping that would be fixed or renewed for the upcoming year for 2024. But currently for 23 tax filing that we're getting into or going ahead for the 2024 year, there's three big tax breaks that were in existence previously that are not out there and haven't been renewed at this point that impact businesses. So to go through those real quickly, one is the research and development credit. The credit is still there if in your business you're doing any kind of research or development of processes, of a product, anything like that. But what they changed a couple years ago is those expenses that are associated with the research and development have to be capitalized and depreciated over several years, whereas in the past we could just write that all off in the year that those costs were incurred. So that was a major change for a lot of our bigger businesses that they really had to slow down being able to take those expenses against their taxable income. We were hoping that would get changed for these upcoming years, and at this point, it's still being talked about in Congress, but nothing has been passed. So we're really still looking at that delayed and drawn out write-off of research and development. A second one impacts almost all businesses, a bonus depreciation. For probably the last 10 plus years, we've been able to have the option of taking the full amount of the purchase price of a piece of equipment as bonus depreciation during the year and write that off entirely, rather than over a 5 or 7 year period, which has always been the standard. In 2016, when the tax law was passed, they basically started phasing out that percent. So this year, for 2023, we were down to 80% of the purchase price could be written off. And now in 2024, it's down to 60%. So a lot of businesses that buy new equipment year after year, and we're used to being able to write all that off, it's changing drastically, and a lot of planning is going to be required for that. And then the third tax break for businesses really impacts more of those bigger businesses, but there are limitations on interest. If the company has debt and they're paying interest payments, the interest is not fully deductible for a lot of those bigger businesses. And those are all three things that especially the Republicans are looking at this point and trying to get some kind of tax update bill together. But at this point, it's not really going anywhere. So that's where we sit today.
Thanks for the update, Eric. Really appreciate it. You have a great day, all right?
You too, Terry.
You bet. Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo Accounting. Well, things change and things don't change, but it might be a really good idea to make sure that whatever your situation is with your family or your farm, that you're up to date on what has happened and what can happen. Jerry Reif, who works with us when it comes to legal matters for agriculture and farmers, is joining me right now. And Jerry, you've got a meeting coming up pretty quick, don't you?
Yes, we do. Next week, Tuesday, the 16th at 2 o'clock at the Acapulco Community Credit Union here in Saginaw. It's a good spot to collect and get updated. We're going to be talking about your questions that need to be answered, and we offer a free consultation based upon your being at the workshop. We'll be happy to have you there, and we talk about the different types of trusts and what they can do, and what there's some techniques that are available that maybe don't work in every situation, but we're going to go into that. Now, there's some changes. Most of the changes that occur that you need to react to are, of course, family changes, death, divorce, new generation, new child, succession planning. Maybe you don't want it involved in your business anymore. So you're talking about what are you going to do with it afterwards, those kinds of things. But the people in Washington and Lansing do change a few things every once in a while, too. And sometimes they do it without a vote. We got an annual gifting exemption, $17,000 plus per person. I mean, you can give it away pretty fast, but not everybody wants to do that.
Right.
The annual or the lifetime exclusion right now is over $12 million. I mean, you got to be worth over $12 million to not worry about any
if you're worried about taxes below that amount, you shouldn't be.
So again,
Now,
Jerry, that meeting, it's going to be at Capocco in Saginaw, right?
Yep, Capocco and Saginaw, and if you want to sign up for it, just call me at 989-790-1461 or go onto the website, jerryreiflawyer.com. We have workshops periodically and be happy to have you to come to one.
Fantastic. Jerry Reif, always appreciate the information. Take care. Have a good one, all right?
And you too.
I will. Jerry Reif, attorney here in Saginaw. A lot more coming up. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, but now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSG